How's it going, everybody? My name is Alex, coming at you with another Call of Duty Zombies video, specifically with Vanguard Zombies, and today we're going to be talking about the Season 1 Reloaded update and kind of going through the good, the bad, the ugly, that cliche YouTuber clickbaity video. I'm doing it right now, letting you know how I feel about the update, and now you can kind of judge whether it's worth your time or not. If you want to jump in, maybe watch, some streamers play it, or just you were interested in buying the game, now you kind of know where Zombies stands as a mode. And before we get into the main content of the video, if you could please consider leaving a like and a subscription if you really love it, or that other button works just as well. Let's continue on with the content. I'm not gonna lie, as a person who has been highly critical of Vanguard Zombies and Vanguard in general, I'm gonna have to say that this was a positive update. Now, at the end, we'll kind of discuss whether I think that positivity is worth your money, worth your time, worth your investment. That is a different question as opposed to just like where we are with Vanguard Zombies and what this update has added to what we have currently. So I will say, like I kind of alluded to just a moment ago, that my overall impressions are that it is positive. There is more good than bad here. However, it is not super excessive. It is just very minute details that have been changed or added, and it does kind of fix some of the issues that we've had with Vanguard Zombies, but to a larger extent, it still just does not feel like Call of Duty Zombies. There's just something off about this mode where it just doesn't feel like the classic Treyarch game that we have been playing since 2009, 2008 even. So I'm just going to run through a couple bullet points here. The first one is Pack-a-Punch camo. Now, this is kind of controversial. I actually do like the way it looks. However, it was kind of upsetting that it wasn't animated. We already have a crappy Dark Aether camo, that green tiger that moves. We have all of these blueprints that cost so much money, and then they give us this camo that doesn't light up, it doesn't animate, it doesn't move around the gun. It is beautiful. I love the geometry, but even in the image that they showed us, the teaser image, they really made it look like it was going to light up and have some kind of geometric 3D pattern similar to the camo inside of Forsaken, which was DLC 4 for Cold War Zombies. Now, I don't want to get bent out of shape and say like, oh, they didn't give us a good Pack-a-Punch camo, so let's all get upset. I am far past the point of being mad at this game anymore. Like, it does suck. It is a bummer. This is a year-long life cycle with only 10 months left-ishly to kind of fulfill the promise that Treyarch and Activision and Sledgehammer have sold us. Like, they have 10 months left and they're not communicating. They're not telling us really what's going on. Well, Treyarch did give us a nice blog post yesterday, so I do want to credit them there. But there's not enough time left and that ship has sailed. So now we have what we have, and all we can do is judge the game in its current state, make complaints where it's necessary so that they can improve and push the mode forward to a better place than where it is now. Now, the main reason why most of you are probably watching this video is to talk about the Void/survival mode, how it feels, what it's like. Should you play it? Should you do this challenge inside of Darien Fang? I am going to have to say, yes, you should. It is much more rewarding. It is much more fun than any of the challenges. However, it's actually kind of nice to be able to stop what you're doing and go back to Stalingrad to upgrade your character or whatever. It's not my preferred method of survival, but it's not a terrible thing to stop surviving in Shi No Numa and then go do a purge objective or go do a blitz objective. It's not the end of the world. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Shi No Numa is a very big disappointment, though. I mean, talk about a letdown. That map would have been very awesome to have fully expanded, seeing the whole swamp area, seeing the perks randomized inside of each of the huts, each of the corners. Like, what a cool premise that could have been. They could have put a crafting table, a Wonder Fizz machine, the Pack-Punch machine, obviously, which is there, all of the perks inside of each of the huts if this was fully developed. I mean, just a lot of missed opportunities. So definitely not super hyped about that. The map is just so small. So what I think they could do to fix this is put the Void objective, aka the survival objective. They should put this in every location where we have to travel. So the windmill map, the Hotel Royale map, I think that's it. So they should be able to put it on every single map. And hell, why not even on Stalingrad? Why not? I mean, give us options. We're bored as hell playing this mode because there's nothing to do. So give us more variety. And it doesn't seem like it was that complicated for them to add the Void objective from Von List's office into Shi No Numa, especially when they didn't expand the map at all. And all they did was add some weird red thing with arms sticking out of it. And we're going to get to all that at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So one thing I also find very refreshing about this Void and survival challenge is the amount of points that you get for participating in it. So if you just do 3 rounds and then go back to Stalingrad, you'll only get 1 heart, but you'll get anywhere from like 8 to 10,000 points. And again. Then you can access a little Easter egg, and I definitely think that is needed because you do not get a ton of points in this mode, and it's really, really hard to kind of scale up your player with the map's level of difficulty, and I really do think this addresses a ton of issues and makes it a lot more fun. It also makes it a lot quicker to get all of your perks, all of your pack-a-punch weapons. Now, granted, most of those you're going to get from the big guys that drop pack-a-punch weapons or from the mystery box or whatever, or a chest, but it still scales you up a little bit quicker, so you're like ahead of the curve. Not by much, but just enough to where you don't feel absolutely weak. And if you spend your points wisely, you can get ahead pretty quickly, actually. And I do think it is a very, very good change. And you can think of it this way. Every time you do a 3-round Shi No Numa survival challenge, you basically get a free tier 1 pack-a-punch weapon because that's how many points you get. You get 8,000. It's only 7,500 to pack-a-punch. So free tier 1 packed weapon if that's what you want to do. To kind of continue on with the points conversation, the salvage is still really, really poor. It is not easy to get a lot of salvage. It takes a long time to get to tier 3 armor. Honestly, I just think that's unacceptable. They either need to have 2 levels of salvage like they did in Cold War, or they need to have armor packs that drop so that you can upgrade your armor more quickly. The crafting table is useless because all of the zombies are just dropping grenades and whatever all the time. It's like just not really necessary to even have this crafting table, but you know, if you specifically want something, you can go and get it. However, you never have enough salvage to actually buy all this. So it's like almost useless to even have a salvage system when you pretty much get everything from the zombies themselves. Now, they did add score streaks, and I do really think that these could be a good asset. I didn't think so at first. I was like, who cares? The score streaks in multiplayer are awful. But using the death machine was actually really fun. The covenants work with the score streaks, so you can really just go ham, and all of your covenants are going to be working simultaneously with your score streak. That is a very welcome change. Didn't think I would be positive on that one because I don't like how they work in multiplayer, but they have transitioned to zombies quite nicely. I haven't had a chance to use the war machine because it's so hard to get salvage, and if you go down one time, you basically either have to buy a self-revive kit or a war machine. Obviously, I would choose self-revive every time. Kind of not really fair because the longer I play, the harder the game gets, but I'm not rewarded with anything but points. And after a certain period of time, you don't need points. You need freaking salvage in order to be able to guard yourself against these tiny little moments where you get cornered or whatever. So let's move on to the Tomb of Rituals. I do think that the Tomb of the Rituals is a good idea. It makes the field upgrades so much more powerful. However, and I hate that I'm going to have to say this, Cold War did this better. Having this be inside of the menus is a much better system because it's a one and done thing. It gives me the ability to grind stuff in game to get those crystals to unlock stuff for the Tomb of the Rituals. But inside of the game, it's very easy to upgrade them. So don't sit here and think like I'm making a big stink out of how hard it is. All you have to do is survive 4 rounds of any challenge or do the Shi No Numa avoid thing, and you'll have 4 sacrificial hearts. You can upgrade your field upgrade to the full status, and you're done. It's fully upgraded. It transfers across all of the field upgrades. You can switch constantly. They're interchangeable at any moment through the pause menu or lack thereof. And I just think that this is a good feature, but implemented wrong, or they could have implemented it in a different way. Now, I'm a big proponent of things not inside menus. I don't like menus. Anytime you have to access a menu and it interrupts your gameplay, that is a negative feature in my opinion. So that is a strike against it. That being said, they could have done it in a different way where they implemented a quest. So maybe you complete the purge objective and you have to do a little, you know, press X on this door. There's a sacrificial heart hidden behind so you can upgrade your frost blast to tier 2. Something like that would have made it enjoyable, make me want to seek secrets out in the map rather than just walk up to a book and hit square and hope that I have a sacrificial heart left over from the covenant tree. So covenants, in my opinion, they are still awful, and this kind of ties into the Tomb of the Rituals a little bit, but the covenant system, it's just bad. It is a cool idea on paper, but it is not fun for the player because it actually makes each experience less. It is basically the wonder fizz of little extra abilities that we have always been able to access through Pack-a-Punch Machine or the mystery box or whatever, all these extra little features features that we've had inside of zombies are now stuck in a new RNG system that we have no real control over. I understand that it's supposed to add variety, but it just really doesn't, because I played a game last night and I had all of these amazing covenants, and then today I played and I didn't have any of those covenants, and it really limited my experience. It was a waste of time because I kept going back to the covenant tree or the covenant guy or whatever you want to call it, and there was nothing there, nothing I could utilize to make my character stronger. It didn't refresh them. It wasn't like helping me at all. So it basically stunts your gameplay session because you are not in control. And I know you can argue and be like, well, that's what the mystery box does. It prevents you from being able to get the wonder weapon every time. Yeah, I get that, but that's why we have side quests and all this other stuff to make it more fun. And while I may not have the gun I want or the wonder weapon that I want, I'm still not limited to all of the features to apply to that gun to make it as strong as possible. I understand the parallels there, but I just don't think it's very fun when it's like RNG extra little perks. I just don't think it's a very fun system to add to the gameplay to make it feel like zombies. It just doesn't feel like zombies. So now let's move on to the Easter egg and the new area and kind of some of the story stuff. So obviously Von List's office is the new area. I don't really see any value to Von List's office. I find it to be very just unnecessary. I'm glad it's there, I guess, but I'm never going to go there for anything other than to travel to Shi No Numa, or if there's a challenge there. I guess I haven't had one there, so I don't think there is any, but I have no intention of going to Von List's office at all. It just seems a little strange that it wasn't there at launch, because it's not like it expanded Stalingrad by much. It just opened the building that we were kind of already in partially just from doing some of the basic challenges. So a little confusing there. I think the story of this game is okay. It's not the most enticing. It's not the best. It's not the worst. We have these awesome gods that kind of interact with each other. They make funny jokes. They're a little annoying at times. We're obviously going to be going to Egypt, and we unlock the portal that is going to be taking us there at some point in time, because that's the next hub is probably going to be in Egypt, or the hub could be somewhere else. And then we'll have a Darren Fang challenge that will take us to Desert Siege or one of the maps from multiplayer. So we kind of get a hint of where we're going. But what makes me the most curious actually are these arms that are on the Shi No Numa Void challenge, where if you don't know, you'd go to Shi No Numa through the Void, through Von List's office, and there's like a red orb in the center of the room on the top floor. And then there are these 3 lines of like energy, dark ether energy that are shooting out of it that are attached to these arms that are latched onto parts of the hut. Very strange. And if you shoot it, you'll see that there is a 0 damage hit marker coming on. And I think some of the field upgrade bosses, the gods, will say, hey, you can't hit that, you can't shoot that. That has my curiosity. I'm very interested to see kind of where this takes us. What is the next step? Is that an Easter egg? Is that just kind of something we need a wonder weapon for? Apparently that is going to be coming in season 2, which in reality is not that far away. So the last 2 things I want to touch on here are more technical than anything else. Server pause still not implemented. I don't understand how this is a thing right now, but it is. I think that this horse has been beaten to death, so there's no point in me going over it again. We need to be able to pause the game. It's kind of ridiculous. And then stability overall. The game feels like it plays a lot better. I don't feel like it's glitching. I don't feel like things are freezing. I feel like it actually works pretty well. Still not my favorite engine, but it feels like everything is pretty stable. However, I am getting a ton of server disconnection issues, like a ton. It's happening all the time. Last night, I was doing a high round run after our stream. Just wanted to really sink my teeth into this game, really try to give it a fair shake. Was almost at round 40 and the whole freaking game just died. It didn't crash. It just disconnected me from the server and moved on. And it was happening to me before the stream with multiplayer. So I don't know if that's a zombies thing. I don't know if it's a multiplayer thing, but you should know that the game is just not stabilized. The zombies update was very helpful to zombies overall. It has made it more stable. It has actually given you some stuff to do. There's a little tiny baby quest. You know, we have Pack-a-Punch camos. There's the new Tomb of Rituals, which is actually positive. But overall, this still doesn't feel like classic zombies. And it's not because there's no overall survival premise. It's just the way the game feels. That being said, when I was doing my high round run for a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I had fun and I was like, I'm playing zombies right now. For a little bit, from about round 30 to when the game froze and disconnected from the server, I was like, hey, this is actually kind of a good time. The reason that this game isn't shining and isn't as successful as as the predecessors of Call of Duty Zombies is merely because they're making this deviation, no pun intended, the main course. Now, if we had a traditional round-based map with traditional survival mechanics and an Easter egg and a boss fight, and then we also had Feng as a side meal, I would be much more accepting of this new experimentation. Now, you might think that I'm being a hypocrite when it comes to things in Outbreak because I wasn't happy with Outbreak, but that's because they're not focusing on the main content and then trying to mix it up with side modes. And Outbreak has come a long way. So hopefully Feng can continue to improve. I don't really want to see this in the next Treyarch game. It's a little strange that they're trying this out. Maybe they're just really into hardcore experimenting right now. But if you want to sit there and spend $60 on this game for zombies, I just can't recommend that you do it. You're not going to get $60 worth of entertainment out of this package as it stands. If you want to wait until spring, if you want to wait until summer and just get it to have like a little weird bonus side mode of zombies, just, you know, just to play every once in a while, get it on a deep sale, get it from a friend for free or from your grandma if she wants to give you some COD points or a gift card to get it, like whatever. I can't in good conscience recommend this game quite yet. It is on its way to doing and being something. It's on its way to forming its own identity, but right now it's just not there yet. This is the launch mode we sort of should have had. I still think we could have had a round-based map plus this as a launch content, but this is the launch mode I think they were going for. It finally feels fulfilled, but it's never going to be able to catch up with itself because the COD life cycle is so fast, it's so rampant that it tends to outpace the developers' ideas, actions, and what they want to put inside of their game. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for our good and the bad and the ugly kind of segment here. If you enjoyed this video at all, please consider leaving a like and a subscription if you loved it. And if you didn't like it, well, that other button works as well. Go ahead and smash that one. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.